All right, this is episode 6 of this little mini series. Probably the most requested topic, looking at the best foods to lower blood sugar. I'm going to start by saying this is probably not the right mindset to have around food, and I'll touch on that in a second, but I am going to give you some of these foods today. So, the reason I say that, what is good and bad? Foods contain a variety of different macronutrients, which is carbs, protein, and fats, and micronutrients, which is your vitamins and minerals. And we need all these nutrients in different amounts. So my diet, I'd need different amount of these nutrients compared to you. So therefore, no singular food can really be considered good or bad. There's simply foods that are higher or lower in these certain nutrients. But some nutrients are easier to consume than others, especially with modern day food. And obviously some nutrients will affect blood sugar more than others. So we're going to look at some different meals and foods today that should help with that. Some simple tips to begin with, no matter what the meal is. Generally, for most people with high blood sugar, you probably want to think about these things. So first of all, high protein. Most people that come to us, when we analyse their first week of nutrition, we tend to say you're just not getting enough protein. So you're going to want to look for foods that are high protein. Similar with fibre, you also want to go for high fibre or low GI, glycemic index. I am doing a video on this in this series as well. Healthy fats, and then when you have carbs, not to have them on their own or to balance the plate. So I've got an example of the portion plate just below me there, which is again a rough guide or a general guide. To split up the plate into a quarter protein, a quarter carbs, and half a plate of veg, salad, and fibre. Again, everybody will need different ratios and different amounts of protein, carbs, fats, etc. But it's a good place to start for most people. So let's start by looking at breakfast, which probably is the hardest meal for most people, especially when it comes to getting in protein and not going overboard on carbs. So some of the foods I'd be looking at are eggs, Greek yogurt, oats, berries, avocado, salmon, chia seeds, cottage cheese, whole grain or seeded or sourdough, toast, and nuts and seeds. Or obviously a combination of a few of those to create a nice meal. For lunch, chicken with, again, if you go back to the portion plate, with your green salad with whichever low GI carb you're going for. Salmon and rice and veg, tuna and a whole grain wrap, omelette with veg, burrito bowl, turkey and avocado sandwich, stir fry with lean protein, lentil soup, a Greek yogurt bowl with fruit and nuts, or leftover protein from your dinner with some form of carbs and veg again. For me, when I look at my lunches, most of the time it's going to be a prepped lunch that usually is, we make loads of portions of a dinner, then break that up into smaller portions for lunch. So for dinner, some examples would be salmon with potatoes and veg, chicken stir fry with rice, lean beef chili, turkey meatballs with pasta, steak and sweet potato and greens, chicken curry, whole grain rice, homemade burgers with potato wedges and salad, a bolognese with whole wheat pasta, fajita bowls or white fish with roast veg, new potatoes. Again, using that sort of portion plate guidance to build these meals. Protein first, healthy fats, lots of fibre and veg, and your low GI carbs. Snacks would also be a big area that a lot of people struggle. So again, just some quick ideas here. Greek yogurt, berries, any fruit with peanut butter or not having fruit on its own. I'll talk more on that later. Nuts, protein bars, going for low sugar when you can. Cottage cheese, boiled eggs, popcorn, dark chocolate, hummus and veg sticks. Loads of good options that you could have. When I think about snacks and what makes a healthy snack, I would pick foods that are high in the nutrient that you're not getting much of in your other meals. So let's say it was healthy fats you're lacking in that day, I'd go for a snack that's high in healthy fats. If you're lacking in protein that day, I'd go for a snack that's higher in protein. Hopefully this gives you a few ideas on some foods that you can be including a bit more of in your diet. And we'll start looking at each of these sort of different nutrients that we've looked at in a bit more detail in the next few videos and why we want those in certain amounts as well. So please subscribe. Comment, let me know some of your favourite foods for each of these meals, and any questions you have, leave those down below as well. And I'll see you in the next one.